Hello, viewers. Good evening, everybody. How is everybody? Good evening, everybody. How is everybody? Testing. Anybody here? Just me? Wow, we're knocking around the ballpark tonight. Testing. Anybody here? Just me? Well, everything's looking good. Wow, we're knocking around the ballpark tonight. Well, I guess. Just as well get this thing all kickered off, huh? Don't have anybody watching it or anything. Usually I have a couple messages waiting for me. Everybody disowning me already? Where's everybody at tonight? There's no football, so that is not an excuse tonight. I wonder who's all streaming tonight. Hoonigan says you're playing farming simulators. Where are you at? Hmm? My moderator. Okay, anyhow, I guess. Well, what are we going to do tonight? I know one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to harvest this field 386 down over here. But course play does absolutely does not like this thing. And I even tried it with no islands, which I did that right away anyway. But with one headland pass with 3 combines, it doesn't like this spot right in here, and it don't particularly like this spot right in here, and right in here. So it was throwing me fits. So I started doing it a little bit on my own, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do there because it's going to take me for frickin' ever to do it by myself with one combine. And I don't particularly want to part with follow me mod. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And of course, Morris decided he wasn't going to stream tonight, so can't have him on here helping me out. And I'm not sure what Rank's up to tonight. So, I don't know what we're going to do just yet. So I went and leased a bigger head for my for the 9870. Thought maybe I'd just do it with myself, but man, I guess it'd take too goddamn long to do it by myself. And I still haven't got structures changed for the beans on this field, or peas. I don't know why they didn't put them in here the right way when they made the map, but they didn't. Anyhow, so I don't know, maybe we'll fart around, finish making a perimeter deal around here. I don't know what we'll do. Another thing I do need to do is, before we get further into that, and these are not new, they were released, I don't remember when were they released. Last fallish? This is the pack, because they released the HD50, or FD50, or whatever the hell the new numbers for John Deere's flex heads are, and whoever made these so they articulate so they truly flex. Fine and dandy. That is awesome. I'm glad that they did that because they follow the contour of the ground. They're realistic that way. But they have this issue that they didn't. I don't know why they didn't. But unlike, and I don't know why they didn't do this because it's something you can do. Like on the honeybee headers, they have a unfold feature, so it drops the thing down, makes them so they're flexible on the honeybee. They need to do that to these heads because I can't find it anywhere. So it needs to make it so it makes it rigid for transport. Because even if it's put on a trailer, that's a motherfucker to get on a trailer like that. And there's times you want to transport it just down the road a little bit. So it's one of them things like, okay, people, I get the realism, but I'd almost rather have it the other way. But anyhow, so let's see. We need to figure out what we're gonna do here for. Oh, and it's a contract. It pays pretty good, and it's right by my house. That way, whatever's left over, I can send to. I don't have to send very far to my fields. They're my grain bins. And I need to do a couple cultivating contracts. What do we got? 323, 324. That can't be too far from here. I'm slowly getting this map somewhat memorized in my mind on where shit's at. So 324, 323 was one of them, wasn't it? And 324, these two here. That show they have crops in them. Yep, harvested 323 and 324. We might send the old buds over to. Looks like we got a field point at 321. I think that's what we'll do. We'll send them over there and we'll have them do those. Although, it might throw a fit with 324. This one will do fine. Alright, just as well get those going. They pay good too. So, we'll accept that contract. We'll accept that contract. I need to turn my details on. So, got that. what we'll do is we'll have these guys working with courseplay, hopefully, and then I'll just slowly plug away at this thing by myself. And where the hell's these going? Grain flour mill. Okay. Grain flour mill. Hastings fermenter. Grain flour mill. Isn't that where... Farmer's market. I know. Grain flour mill. Where the hell is it? Corn dryer. Hastings Central. Hastings fermenter. Hastings corn dryer. Dairy. That's Frank's farm. Grain flour mill. Oh, hey, Dur. Maybe it's the one down here that's got exclamation point on it. Oh. We will just teleport down there and make damn sure. Where was it again? 196. Alright. 196. Well, I've seen my number go from 1 to 2 to 3 back down to 2. What's everybody doing tonight? Where's everybody at? Welcome to the stream. The few that are in here. Must have some lurkers that don't like to chat. That like situations like right now about drive you nuts. Where did I say it was at? Down by 193? Yeah, 196, not 193. It's right there. Grain flour mill. And let me guess. From looks and what I've got going on, there's not a frickin' auto drive point to that one. Where's everybody at tonight? Jesus Christ. H&H Milling Company Corporation. So how stupid is your point here? So here's the point. Oh, how the hell do you get in and out of here? That's the next question. So can we swing around here? Wow, you dumb shits. They didn't lay this one out so fucking hot, did they? So we come in here and make a loop and then go back out. Come in and make a loop, I guess, maybe, and come back out here. Guess maybe. Now we're clear back down to Q1. I guess nobody wants to watch my farm sim. Why the hell you even come in here at all? And now we're back up to 3. That or YouTube's doing their weird glitchy thing. I don't want to start my engine yet. I need to go down here because I have a feeling there's no auto drive route. So we'll get in the old truck. We'll teleport everything down here. And how about that? Right next to a goddamn power pole. How about that? And I am correct. There is no auto drive point to that particular cell point. Mama Bear, welcome to the stream. Ace, welcome to the stream. Maybe we are going to get a few people in here finally. And I need to turn down my phone so I don't get any reverberation. How is everybody this evening? Well, I hope. Had a good day. My day was all right. So they do have a point in here, but it's just one of them weird setups that they have. So I do not like this at all. I do not like how they've done, and I don't understand this gold line. I have never seen the gold line. I've always seen green, like so, which is directional, and blue, which means both directions. But this green thing, I have never seen it. Or yellow or gold. I've never seen this color. I don't know what the hell it means. And on top of it, we have two different ones now. We have gold, and we even have and these points are even different colored. Oh, has something to do with one-way, two-way, bidirectional. Not sure exactly what it is, but it's weird. Peas. So ASATs looks like a new viewer. Hopefully you'll enjoy my menagerie, which is kind of getting slow started here, even though I started right at 6:30. But I don't want anybody in here. Usually I have a couple people, or at least one, waiting for me. Guess my normals are all off doing something more important. Alright, so you need to go to, is it a production? Nope. The bad thing about some of these auto drive routes you get, they're made by some foreigner Yahoo. So like here, this, what the hell does this mean for for their folder name? The bad thing is you can rename the points and stuff, but I don't think you can rename folders that I know of. Anyway, so you need to go there. This is going to be, what field am I going to be? I know I got to put a point for the field, but as of right now, what the hell is Silo 387? That's a stupid name. But either way, that'll get me close. No, that won't either get me close. That's not where I need. This is what I need to be. Field 383. That'll get me close. Field 383. And no, I want you to go in here and see what the hell we get. It goes in here. Ah, never mind. I know who Ace is now. Welcome to the stream, Lynette. Right. It's evening, and I ate dinner. I got off work, just went work through lunch so I can get off earlier to get the hell back out here. So we'll see if this knothead can actually make this curve here. Because sometimes, I swear to God, some of the auto drive people that make these do not really pay attention to. Is he gonna miss it? He missed it. It's gonna work, I guess. But the way they did these intersections, I've already redid some of them, but these intersections they did is weird as hell. I've never seen intersections done like these. You had chili and crackers for dinner. Well, I had leftovers. I made me a pot of what I call It's kind of my own made up thing in a way, but I call it blonde goulash. So that's what I had. I had made a pot of it last night, and I knew I was going to be streaming tonight. Didn't have time to be getting home in case I didn't get off work and a little early. It was 5 and get home by 5:15 and try to stream by 6:30. Get something made for supper. So I made what I made last night, knowing I could eat it for leftovers when I got home tonight. So I made a pot of that, and it's similar to goulash, other than it doesn't have any of the tomato stuff in it. And that's not because I don't like tomatoes. I just was thinking one time when it's like, I want to make something, but I don't know what the hell I want to make. And I thought, well, I'm kind of in the mood for goulash, but I don't really, no, I'm not either really in the mood for goulash, so I decided to omit the tomatoes and the tomato sauce and tomato juice, because you put tomato juice in it. The way I make my goulash, I put the tomato juice in it and then put the pasta in your hamburger and all that stuff, and let the tomato juice cook the pastas, as opposed to some people where you just cook the pasta separate. Macaroni, elbow macaroni. Anyway, but with this rendition of it, you take elbow macaroni and you boil it, and while it's boiling in another saute pan, you brown some hamburger and some onion and some garlic and season it with whatever you want to season your hamburger. Get it all going. Put some green peppers and mushrooms if you like that in it, and put a little bit of milk or cream, and that you don't have to put it in there yet. That's what I usually use, because I use one can of cream of mushroom soup, and with your cream of mushroom soup, then you take your cream or milk, or those of you that are lactose intolerant, I guess you could try to use almond milk or silk, but to me that it just tastes like crap. If you're lactose intolerant and you can drink lactose-free milk, you're better off. At least it tastes like milk, because that almond crap just does not taste like milk. The soy shit that I've had, it's always flavored. So why do you want to add a weird flavor to what you're trying to make? Pasta, gluten-free people use some gluten-free pasta, or your chickpea pasta, or whatever you're using. Anyhow, get all that going, and after you've thinned out your can of cream of mushroom soup with your cream or milk, and there for that matter, the people that are lactose intolerant, use water, a little bit of water to thin it out, or like I've been taught, if you take a little bit of your pasta water, because I started doing that with my homemade spaghetti sauce, putting a little pasta water in your spaghetti sauce. Not a lot. Some people might put more than me, but I don't like my spaghetti sauce very thick or very runny. I like it thick. Nothing drives me nuttier than people that leave their frickin' spaghetti noodles in water. I just hate that. Strain your fucking noodles, and when you're done doing that, put a little bit of olive oil and butter on it, and they won't stick, and it'll taste a lot better, and you won't have a runny goddamn tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce. But anyway, so you add a little bit of pasta water while they're boiling, because it gives your, whatever your sauces are that you're making, it gives it a silky texture, if that makes any sense. It makes them taste better. Anyhow, so you can throw a little of that in there if you wanted. Get that all going. And then, of course, here we go again for the lactose intolerant people. I always throw some cheese of some sort in it. Usually, an inch and a half, 2-inch thick piece of Velveeta, kind of depending on how cheesy you want it. And then a little bit of mozzarella cheese in with it. Let that all come together, melt, get smooth, thicker, ooey gooey, yummy. And by this time, your macaroni should be all done. I don't fucking make pasta sauce. I make homemade pasta sauce. I do not buy the shit in a can. I do not understand people that do that. because most people that I know that buy a pasta sauce, the only pasta sauce I make buy pre-made is Alfredo sauce. Because it seems like I never have cream on hand, or, which, not always, because I usually have cream on hand anymore. It used to be you couldn't get fresh Parmesan cheese to make homemade Alfredo sauce. But anyway, but most people buy Ragu, Prego, Bertolli's, whatever the hell their canned frickin' sauce is, and then they add crap to it. Well, if you're adding crap to it, just as fucking well make the homemade shit yourself. I mean, all it takes is tomato sauce, tomato paste, stewed, diced stewed tomatoes, something like that. You know, kind of depends on what you might like. I mean, no rhyme or reason, but there again, how thick you like your sauces, how thin you like your sauces. So I use more tomato paste. I've gotten away from using tomato sauce so much. I used to always use tomato sauce, but I started using crushed tomatoes. So it's got a little more of a thicker textures to it. It's not watery, per se. So I started doing that lately. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down, dear. Slow down. But anyway, after you get all that done, then you mix all your hamburger mixture stuff with your pasta. And you let it sit there and simmer. And after you've let it drain and whatever else, and you're done. It's pretty good. So see, that's why I call it blonde goulash, because it's pretty much goulash, other than it's not made with tomato sauce. So, there, we're having cooking with Toby tonight instead of farm sim. Proof that I know how to cook. And when it comes to making homemade spaghetti sauce, it's not hard to do. Brown hamburger, some onions, and then, you know, of course, you need to use garlic powder, and of course, that's something you got to make sure you put in the goulash, because then again, I cook with frickin' garlic everything. I love garlic. So I've always got real garlic around, or garlic powder. There's never not any garlic of some sort in my house. But anyway, so I always brown my hamburger. When I brown hamburger, there's some people that brown hamburger too. And if you buy a lot of store-bought hamburger, I'm going to tell you a trick right now. There's this stuff called the W sauce, Worcestershire. It's because everybody says Worcestershire and there's no Chester in it. I'm even one of them people that say that, but there's no Chester in it. So the W sauce. Put about a tablespoon, a couple teaspoons of that in your hamburger before it gets going. So let it soak in your hamburger, and you'll thank me later because it makes your hamburger taste that much better. And it don't affect the flavor necessarily per se of whatever you're making, but your hamburger tastes better. Like I said, especially if you're buying regular store-bought hamburger that's not the greatest tasting shit usually. And I also buy liquid smoke and add a little bit of liquid smoke in hamburger when I'm cooking hamburgers, unless I'm making regular hamburgers and I use them on my smoker. Which, my God, you want to talk about a juicy hamburger now. That is a way to make a hamburger. Put it on the smoker because it cooks slower. Oh, they're just so much better. But anyhow, so for spaghetti sauce, similar, brown your hamburger. Put your onions in there. Put your peppers and that kind of stuff in there if you want. Me, I don't put my peppers in until the end. Green peppers, because I like my green crab, don't like them as mushy. I mean, there again, when you put your vegetables like that stuff in, it's all about how some people like it cooked. Some people like a little bit of a crunch to their vegetables when they have it and stuff like that. So, and that's all the difference there is when you put it in your sauce. You put it in your sauce right away, of course it's going to be cooked. So like onions, all that kind of stuff. But the biggest thing that people get all worried about when it comes to making a homemade pasta sauce is, well, how do you season it? I don't know how to season it. It's not that hard. There's this stuff called Italian seasoning, and it's got every damn thing you need for making any kind of a red sauce that's Italian-based type of sauce. Now, I usually go one step further, I happen to know what oregano is, and I happen to know what sweet basil is, and I happen to know what, thyme is, and all that other kind of stuff. And what Italian seasoning is it's got a mixture of all of that stuff. It's got sweet basil, oregano, thyme, and there's something else in there. I think there's four things in Italian seasoning. But anywho, so you brown your hamburger, and looks like I'm out already full. So let's get this guy turned back around. It is going to be a long slow process tonight doing all this by myself. Your pipe out. And when I brown my hamburger, like I said, I put some Worcestershire W sauce in it. It's a little bit of liquid smoke, just so it's got good flavor to the hamburger. A little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic. And I also add a little bit of sweet basil when I'm browning my hamburger. So when I'm making a spaghetti sauce. Get that all browned. And usually, like I said, it kind of depends on mood whether I put my onions in right away or not. And get that all done and simmering. And then this is critical, depending on what kind of hamburger you're using. You want to drain the nasty grease off if it's a store-bought hamburger and it has a tendency to get really greasy. So you can drain some of your grease off if you can. And after that, this is when you add, depending on how big a batch you're trying to make, how much hamburger. The other key ingredient, when you're doing hamburger, I don't use just hamburger. I also use Italian seasonings, Italian sausage, sweet, mild, not hot. I guess if you wanted to put hot, you could if you like that crap. But, and I always buy like Johnsonville or whomever sausage, sweet Italian sausage links, and then I cut them up into like half-inch chunks, and I also brown that with a hamburger. Anyway, you put your tomato sauce in there, which just for a good start, if you're going to use tomato sauce, an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. And what is the tomato paste? The little cans, 4.5 ounces, I think is what the little cans are. So always put one of them in there. Always put it in last usually. And then you put in, what are the bigger cans? Is it 12 ounce? What's a standard can size like a canned canned vegetables? I want to say 8 ounce. 8 ounces. I think it's like 12 ounces. Whatever the fuck that is. That's when you also put your diced Italian stewed tomatoes in there, or Italian stewed tomato in there, and cut them up in your own size, or puree, or whatever the hell you want to put in there. Put that all in there, get it going, and then you put a can of tomato paste in there, and this is on your desirement also of how thick you want your tomato sauce to be. Some people like it runny. I prefer mine thicker. So I always make sure I use at least one of them little cans, a 4.5 ounce one. I think those are 4.5 ounces. Throw that in there, and this is when and I had to laugh because somebody asked me for a recipe last night for my blonde stuff. And I go, there is no recipe. And of course she was being a smartass and sent me a picture saying, hey, this is what a recipe looks like. See? It tells you how to make things and it gives you measurements. Well, that's all fine and dandy if you use a fucking recipe. I don't use recipes for a lot of the shit I cook. My grandma, both of my grandmas, recipes to them were guidelines. They weren't, And I've cooked with people that they've got it. You know, you put if the recipe says to put 2 tablespoons of something in there. By God, it's got 2 tablespoons on there. Not one flake, not one you know, it's got to be exact. You know, because it's not me. I grew up dumping and tasting and dumping and tasting. That's how I was taught how to cook. And I get it. It's you know, and the best way to learn all of that, of course, is don't put too much in it first, and then taste it. If you think it needs a little more, add just a little bit more. Hey, Farmer Johnson, welcome to the screen, buddy. But anyway, so I mean, and I got lots of recipes. My grandma had lots of recipes too. Like I said, they had recipes, but a lot of times like they were guidelines. You know, I think for my grandma, the baking when she baked, she was probably more a lot less. You know, use the recipes more as far as measurements and that kind of stuff, which would make sense. But anyway, you get all that mixed together, put in there. So okay, um, you know you've already used a little bit of sweet basil because you put it in your hamburger to brown your hamburger. But I always still add a little bit more into the base, the tomato sauce, the sauce after I've added all the tomato stuff. Put a little more in there. I'm gonna say, I don't know, 1 to 1.5 teaspoons, somewhere in there. So, and then this is when I always add oregano. Add a little bit of oregano. Put a teaspoon of oregano in there. And then grab your Italian seasoning. And I usually don't put a whole lot of Italian seasoning in there because I've already got oregano in there. I've already got sweet basil in there. Um, the Italian seasoning are after thyme, I think. The thyme that's in it. Oh, rosemary. I think that's what the other thing is. It's in Italian seasoning. So put like a teaspoon and a half of Italian seasoning in there. And then this is also where you want to add more garlic. And garlic's one of them things. Um, I like lots of garlic, so I always add more garlic, and I probably should. Some people would go nuts if they see that. Let's just put it this way: I ain't got to worry about vampires in my life. Although, just in case there are any single women out there listening, you know, if you want to come give it a try, I won't. I won't. If you're decent looking, I won't. I won't tell you no. But anyhow, um, uh, so I would say around if you're using fresh garlic, two cloves. If you're using like a dried minced garlic, I don't know what to tell you there. I just sprinkle the shit in there till I think it looks right. And then you let that simmer for a while. And of course, this is also when you add, I don't know, a third, quarter cup of your pasta sauce, because of course by now you should be cooking your spaghetti. If it depends on how some people are. If you want to make a good traditional Italian spaghetti sauce, you need to make it way ahead of time and let it simmer for a couple hours. The longer you let spaghetti sauce simmer, the better it tastes. You know, them old die-hard Italians, they just make the damn shit in the morning and simmer all day long. 15 ounces. That seems big, but okay, I think you're probably right. So anyhow, get all that stuff simmer. You know, let her come together. Put your green peppers in there. And when I make homemade spaghetti sauce, I usually put. I always freeze my peppers. Whatever I have left over, if I buy fresh ones, I always put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer, because I use them for everything. There again, so I've always got at least a whole green pepper that's in the freezer in a bag or something usually. So I would say when it comes to green, there again, that's personal preference. Some people like a little more of that kind of stuff in there than others. Um, so I'm going to say at least a half a pepper, a green pepper. I always put a little bit of a green. I probably put a little bit of a green pepper, a little bit of a, orange or yellow or red. I usually have a little bit of all of them in the freezer. Um, oh, I need to get them guys going down to. Forgot I got the contracts for those. I need to get them down there to start the contract. So put that in there too at this time. Whatever else you want to put in there. Comes to spaghetti sauce, mushrooms. I'm a mushroom guy. There's not a whole lot when it comes to most of that stuff I don't like, because I know there's people out there that can't stand peppers, and there's people out there that can't stand mushrooms, and there's people out there that can't stand onions, and I'm like, you guys got something wrong with you. But so if you're going to use mushrooms, then you're not going to use fresh mushrooms, because I grew up with canned mushrooms, because we live far enough from grocery stores. You just didn't buy. If you bought mushrooms to cook, something mom did to cook with, or grandma or grandpa or grandma, the other two grandmas, it was used right away. So you just did that. Mushrooms were one of them things you just didn't have on hand as far as fresh mushrooms. We always had canned mushrooms. So put yourself a canned mushrooms in there, or some, I don't know, a half of whatever those little pint things, those pints that they call those little baskets of mushrooms they put in there. I usually use Bella mushrooms when I use fresh ones, but there again, whatever you might like when it comes to mushrooms, use. Um, and then let all that stuff simmer. And after it's simmered let it simmer about 20 minutes, and then go taste it. It's simmered long enough now that it'll give you an idea if you need to add just a little bit of more, Italian seasoning, or you want to add a little bit more garlic, or I always add a little bit of garlic salt too, not just garlic, because garlic salt does have a different flavor profile than just garlic. Whether it's powdered garlic, any of that, there's a little bit of that you gotta have that flavor. You gotta have a little salt in there. So by now everything's simmering along good, and all your flavors starting to come together. And this is when you add my secret ingredient. I don't know if I should tell you people because it's a secret ingredient. Should do a cooking live stream. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny, because then everybody find out how fucking a messy cooker I am. God, I can make a damn mess when I'm cooking. Pisses me off, too. I'm always cussing when I'm... Imagine that, me cussing. Um, when I'm cooking, because I'm always making a damn mess, and it pisses me off. Both my grandmas always told me, back in the day, that they always used to say not to get worried about making a mess. The messy cookers were always the ones that were the better cooks. So... And my kitchen's not a mess, mind you, because I'm always cleaning up the mess as I go. But I am a messy cooker. Well, down the road he goes. So, hopefully he'll make it and everything will go okay. Alrighty. I'll get you back over here, I think. And I got that square part over there. I might just use regular in-game hard worker for that. So anyhow, the biggest thing that a lot of people, when it comes to a tomato-based sauce, whether it's anything, whether you're making even my goulash, I add some of this, and you need to add enough to where you can just barely taste it in the background, but you're adding enough of it that it's taking the acidity away from the tomato part of the tomato sauce. So, depending on your batch size, how many cans of tomato sauce and how many cans of tomato puree, you used. If you use similar what I've just been talking about, it's a pretty good amount by the time you get everything put in there, because you got a pound of hamburger and basically a pound of Italian sausage, and then your vegetables don't necessarily add up to a whole lot, but by the time you add 2 cans of whatever, you know, whether you're using a regular tomato sauce or you're using Italian diced, you know, stewed diced tomatoes, you know. Let's see what happens if we hire a hired worker. Is this dipshit gonna actually... And why the fuck did he do that? I'm supposed to drop the stupid pan, you dumbass. The regular pan's still on there. Alright, whatever. What do you mean no fucking field found? There's a field right in front of you, dipshit. So this is going to be one of them deals where there's an angle up here. You probably won't be able to turn around. Give me that. No field found. Here again, giants. When we said we wanted to improve your frickin' workers, we told you to improve them. We didn't want to go from a Pollock to a graduated Pollock. Yes, I'm old enough that Pollock jokes were acceptable when I grew up. Alright. Go do your thing, even though that's not the exact right way to do your combining. Alright, so we need to send those guys over to 323. Looks like 321 is about the closest. So. And you're fueled up and ready to go. So let's get you on your way, buddy. 321, right? That's what I said. Anyway, secret ingredient is about 2 tablespoons, depending on how much. Like I said, your sauce is of dark brown sugar. And I have never ever made my spaghetti sauce for anybody that likes homemade or likes spaghetti. I have never ever heard anybody complain about my spaghetti sauce. They've always loved my spaghetti sauce. So that's what you do. What I would suggest is add 1 tablespoon. Those of you that don't want it as sweet, add 1 tablespoon, and then add just a little bit more and taste it. When you're cooking, taste your cooking. There's this thing called a spoon or a fork. Taste that shit. That's why you think most good chefs are fat, because they're eating their cooking as they're cooking. And I got a little bit of winter guard on me. No, I'm not a fat slob, but I'm a little more overweight than I'd like to be. But it's winter time, and you're not working as much as I do in the summer, so. But anyway, taste it. Add a little bit more. Add it to what you think tastes good to you. That's the best way to do that. But I know as far as the actual flavor of it, you want to add enough just where you get just starting to taste. There's just a little bit of a sweetness there. You can just kind of taste it, but it totally changes the profile of the tomato in the sauce. You know, and then like I already told you about the whole pasta. When you're done with it, drain that shit. Don't be leaving it in the fucking water. That when you do that crap, it makes it runnier and shit, and everybody that does it always leaves it in the hot water. And while you're doing that, you're overcooking your pasta, and it's just drain it, and drain it good. And I got one of them nice stainless steel pasta pots. So what I do is I take all my water out except for, well, all of it, because it's got, those boiling pasta pot thing, you know what I'm talking about. They got the colander insert, basically. It's inserted into the pot in the boiling water, and you just take that out. And of course, when you're done with pasta, you're supposed to always rinse it, and you rinse it in cold water to stop the cooking process, so you don't get your pasta overcooked. So that's what I do. I do that, and then I always take a little bit of water and put it in the bottom of my pasta pot, like an inch or so, half inch, then put it back on the burner, bring it back to a boil, and let it keep warm. Because everybody that you ever hear anybody that talks about the whole keeping their pasta in water, well, you got to keep it warm, got to keep it hot. Okay, well, this is going to stop that process. I'm not necessarily going to argue that I understand that. Nothing drives you nutty when you go in there with your pasta scoop, grab your spaghetti out that shit, and it's fucking sitting there with water pouring out of it. So anyhow, you do all of that, get it drained, and then you cool it with cold water, stop it, until it's cold to your touch. Then you take hot tap water and you run back over it later. Warm your noodles back up. You're not cooking them, you're just warming them back up because you're not going to let them sit in the hot water. And by the time you get all that done, make sure you grab yourself a stick of butter. And I mean butter, not fucking margarine or that wannabe shit. Butter. The real stuff. The stuff that they claim is bad for you. And I always have some olive oil. I don't cook with a lot of olive oil. I do some, because olive oil's got a really low burn point when it comes to actually cooking with it. I usually use it to, like if I'm boiling the spaghetti, I always put a little bit in the water when I'm boiling it to help keep it from sticking. But anyway, so when you get it all strained, cooled off, and then warmed back up, put it in your colander, your pot colander, your whatever if you have a pasta cooker, or whatever the hell you call them fancy stainless steel pots that got the big insert in them for pasta. Take your pot, you know what I mean? When I'm straining it, it's a colander, so I just leave it in there after I've taken it out of my boiling water. And most of them are about 2 inches off the bottom off of the main pot. So that's why I said if you put an inch of that water in there and bring it back up to boil, and you set this over the top of it, there's your heat to keep your spaghetti noodles warm. And yes, it's going to cook it some, but it's more of a steam cook if it's going to keep cooking it. But you get it to boiling. Your noodles are hot because you warmed them back up when you run them under the hot tap water. And then when you do that, you take you a couple 1/8-inch slices of pats of butter. And here again, it depends on how much pasta, your spaghetti, angel hair, linguine, anything like that. I cook all of it exactly the same. The only thing I don't do this with is like if I'm making, macaroni's different. You could do it that way. But I don't think I've ever made macaroni where I was scooping it out and putting a sauce on it. Macaroni is always mixed in within whatever I'm cooking, whether it's macaroni and cheese, goulash, casserole, whatever. So you put it back over that and let the steam as it comes up through your spaghetti noodles, just melts your butter in over your spaghetti noodles. And also while I'm doing that, I take olive oil and I drizzle it on top of the spaghetti noodles, and of course you stir it a little bit, with your pasta scoop thing. I'm talking about. It's got the little forks all around it, and once everything is coated and then your butter's melted and coated all your pasta, there you go. Now it's going to stay hot because you're using that water to help keep it hot. That's steaming underneath it, and time to eat your spaghetti. And it won't stick together because you've coated it with a little bit of olive oil and butter. And once you've done it this way, you will never ever cook pasta the same again. You'll always put butter on it. And it won't stick. And even when you put it in the refrigerator, in your butter container that you're using for Tupperware, because any good cook has got to have that in the refrigerator. It's not all Tupperware. Matter of fact, I probably don't. I got Tupperware that I don't freaking hardly use because I'm always using butter containers. You know why? Because when they go bad, you throw the son of a bitches away and you didn't spend a lot of money on them. But even when you get it out of the refrigerator the next day or a couple days later or whatever, the spaghetti still isn't really stuck together because of it. So, there's Cooking 101 with Neals Gaming and Farming. Or Neals Farming and Gaming. I don't even know the name of my own fucking channel. There's also proof that I know how to cook. So, when I tell somebody that I'm dating or I'm with that I know how to cook, I can prove it. When I tell them that don't be surprised if once in a while you come home, if I have time, to a candlelit supper, because I can be very romantic if I want to be. So, any men out there that don't think it's important to know how to cook, that women have to know how to cook everything, is full of shit. Yes, I still believe in the traditional roles of a man and a woman, and a wife and a husband. You know, it's nice to come home to a meal when I work till fucking. God damn it! Come on. I think I got myself locked out of that thing, don't I? Yes, I do. And for some stupid goddamn, well, I guess I don't need to. But anyway, it's important for men to know how to cook. I don't give a shit. Even though I like the more traditional role and everything, but I still think men still need to know how to cook. That way they can appreciate the wife more when they're cooking. They can appreciate everything. There's nothing wrong with men helping around the house when they have time. But on the other hand, women, don't expect your man to be doing it all the time. If he's busy and working his ass off, don't be one of them women that, and I know this, that we had a neighbor like this, and she used to, it wasn't even my wife, drove me fucking nuts. If her husband didn't take out the trash, she'd leave it in the fucking, by the trash can in the house. If he didn't do it. She wouldn't fucking waddle her fat ass out the goddamn door with the fucking can, with the bag of trash and put it away, throw it away in a fucking dumpster. Out in the country, mind you. I thought, and if you'd say something to her, well, that's his goddamn job. I ain't gonna fucking do that. Really? Because he's only out there busting his ass trying to farm a 500 fucking acres on his own, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week for the railroad on top of it. You can't take your fucking fat ass out there and throw the goddamn throw trash away? I'm sorry. What you doing for a job? Not a fucking thing other than spreading your goddamn legs and cooking him supper. So, in that case, you can take out the fucking trash. So, there's traditional, but yet there's stupidity. Oh, what the hell was that stupid thing under? There it was. Nope, wrong one. 383. God damn it. There. That's what I want. I want peas. What the fuck are you going up there for? You dumbass. Oh, I know why. Because he was passed, so now he's got to go. Oof. Anyhow. And see, and I don't agree with that either, Farmer Johnson. Everybody needs to pull their... whatever, I guess I shouldn't say... I'll just stick my foot in my mouth, but... Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong. If you like doing all the cooking and she's doing, working, and you got the time, okay, I guess. But I'm sorry, but I don't know. There's a traditional role that I still believe in, but I don't disbelieve the whole fact that you can't help, and you need to know how to do it. Because I guarantee you'll have a whole lot more harmonious household as a man if you'll do a load of laundry once in a while. And I don't necessarily mean you got to fold it and do all that stuff either, but it's nice to know how to do it. But, do a load once in a while. Cook once in a while. Grab the fucking vacuum cleaner once in a while. I'll guarantee you, if you do all those kinds of things, you'll have a lot happier household because she knows that you got her back on those days when she's working late or whatever she's got going on, doesn't feel good, she's sick. I mean, that happens, you know. You think that wife of yours really enjoys getting out of bed finally when she's finally feeling better or whatever, and having five loads of laundry to do and a sink clear full of fucking dishes to do and vacuum the goddamn house because you're too fucking lazy to do it. But on the flip side of it, women don't expect men to do it. And when they do it, appreciate it. And also do things to help them out. There's nothing wrong with, like, you know, on my side of it, and Farmer Johnson's side of it. You need to go out and help on the farm. You got to move tractors around, move equipment, you know, especially if you're not used to that lifestyle. But be open enough to learn it. Um, he's busy. He ain't been around for a while, but the grass is 4 foot fucking tall. Go out and push that fucking lawnmower. Or hire Farmer Johnson. Anyway, I just I know a lot of people probably think, God, that guy's kind of an asshole. Really, I'm sure they probably do. But if you really get to know me, I'm not really an asshole. Like I said, even though I believe in traditional roles, I still believe that women can have careers. I have nothing against the women having a career, but I don't like the women when they get in those certain careers that you got to bow down to them too. The whole just because I'm a woman don't mean I can't do it crap. Well, I'm sure you can do it, but does that mean you need to be doing it? Not necessarily. I really need to get the grass painted back over here. It kind of looks like shit. Anyhow, I guess I'm a stickler on certain traditions, and even though my family's as screwed up as it ended up being, I'm still very wholeheartedly think family's an important place, and sitting down at the kitchen table is important to eat your meals. I don't give a shit what your kids are doing. Shut them fucking electronic devices off and go eat. Be a family. Find out what your kids did all day. And do that from day one. So if you're doing that kind of crap when they're young and you're doing it when they're teenagers, do you think they're going to be able to talk to you a little better? I think the opportunity is better for you. Are they? Who knows? But if you set up the opportunity for it, you're better off. If they know they're going to have meals with you at the lunch table, why not? You're going to talk about stuff. You might learn a little bit more about their lives when they get older. Talking to them will be a lot easier. But there's so many households nowadays that, whether they have 1, 2, 3 kids, they're up in their bedrooms and they take whatever hell meal they got with them up there, whether it's because mom stopped and bought fucking McDonald's on the way home or they actually made a meal, but they don't force them to come down and eat at the dinner table because they're sitting in front of the goddamn TV and the TV trays or wherever the hell they're at eating their fucking meal. I'm sorry, but kitchen tables are meant to fucking eat your meals at. And I know when I'm home by myself, a lot of the stuff I eat here on my desk in front of my computer. I mean, I'm not being a hypocrite here, but I'm by myself. And I spend a lot of time at my computer, whether I'm watching TV from my computer chair or watching TV from my easy chair. But I don't eat steak and that kind of shit in my chair watching TV. I usually eat that at the table. But when my daughter's here, on the weekends my daughter's here and I'm cooking dinners, the TV gets shut off. I have my phone with me at the dinner table just because you get phone calls or whatever. I try not to text very much when I'm at the dinner table. Once in a while I do because I'm sending a friend or whatever a picture of what we're having for supper or something. Excuse me, but we eat all of our meals when she is here at the dinner table because she's my only daughter. It's my only family basically. So I set that particular precedent in this house. She gets to fuck off her computer game, whatever she's doing. She doesn't argue with me. She just okay. I'll be in there to eat, and she gets off her computer, comes in, and we eat together. And talk about whatever the hell she's doing on her computer game at the time, or what she's done at school throughout the couple weeks since I'd seen her. And I just think that if the American family still did that stuff, there'd be a few less problems with what we have for youth problems. People wouldn't be as stupid. And then you got these big rich people that got these big fancy kitchens. I don't know what the hell for. Got $5,000 refrigerators and $4,000 stoves and microwaves and huge kitchens that they probably never cooked a day of their life in. These huge kitchen dining tables that got 15 frickin' oak chairs around them, but do they actually sit at the table and eat? You grow it, I'll mow it. Exactly right, Lynette. That's pretty much the best way to do it, I think. I just think that because not that sex is where I want to necessarily go with this, but it makes how many men complain because they didn't get laid by their wife. That's always that age old. Well, she ain't giving it to me this week. Nope, she's not even on the rag this week, but she ain't giving it to me. She's mad at me. She's holding it. I done pissed her off. Okay, you done pissed her off. What'd you do to piss her off? But on the flip side of that, men, what'd you do to help her out? Did she work an 8-hour shift at whatever job she's got, and then you're sitting there expecting her to get all cleaned up and lay on the bed with her cute little panties, and you get all hard and get ready to do your thing with her when she's worked 50 hours that week too, but yet you didn't do anything to help her out? As far as you didn't come home and you didn't take the trash out and you didn't vacuum the living room floor and you didn't put a load of laundry in the dryer because it was already done in the washer. Hell, you didn't even, did you rub her feet for her? Did you draw her a hot bath? Women like that crap, and it's nothing wrong with men doing that. And I'll guarantee you do that stuff once in a while. Guess what? You're going to see her all happy and more excited in that bedroom with her cute little panties for you. And give her flowers once in a while, not just on her goddamn birthday and on her frickin' anniversary and on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is such an overhyped goddamn day anyway. And I know why it came around. It came around for them guys that don't particularly like to give a shit about anything else, so at least the wives get flowers and the girlfriends get flowers and candy at least once a year. But do it more often. Just on the way home from work, if you work in town, stop at Walmart or wherever the hell, grab her bouquet of flowers once in a while. Say for nothing else, just other than saying thank you, honey, I love you, thank you for putting up with my ass. Cards once in a while. And I don't give a damn if you've been married 2 days or you've been married 52 years. See all the crap you can learn when you watch my channel? We can learn how to screw around on farm sim and we can teach marital counseling, right? Oh. And if that ain't gonna be good enough to catch you, we'll throw a meal or two in there. You can learn how to cook and how to better your family. I don't know. All within my opinion, which don't mean shit. Opinions are like assholes; they all stink, right? Okay. Hopefully. I don't know. And then the way I think, and then I wonder why I'm single and can't seem to find a woman because there's a lot of qualities that I think are important that most women would like, but I would think, I don't know. I would say for now the bigger problem is actually getting out there and getting that woman met that actually lives close enough you can spend time with. Okay, so I set all of it up, and then I hit the wrong goddamn button, and I'm sitting there going, why aren't you? I need to do that. Now, are you going to poop it out, or are you going to have a... What do you mean, cannot generate local more information? Bullshit. 2 tools, 1 headland, headland smooth, up, down, automatic, no bypass. Some of these fields are going to feed us fits, I have a feeling, when it comes to courseplay before we can actually... Oh, bullshit! Well, handland overlap, let's go 5%. Smooth, sharp, how about round? Fucking courseplay. I suppose it's throwing a fit because it gets close in here. So you're going to poop it out this time, or are you going to lock my fucking game up like you did the last time? Anyhow, we'll sit here and see what I got going on in my chat. Now that my phone's all charged, let me move my phone over to where it's easier to see. Holy shit, she finally got her done. Looky there. What I want to know is why is it going bigger? Why in the goddamn hell are you going outside the fucking... Okay. You say so there, Skippy. I get that, Lynette. That wasn't what I meant. The whole point is to be able to, it needs to be a both thing on everything. Yep, you get her all here. Hey, Hoonigan! About damn time a frickin' one of my moderators finally show up to my streams. I'm gonna have to start getting me some more moderators because one of my moderators seem to want to be here very often. That's weird. Wonder why it's going clear to fuck out there. Why are you going clear to hell out there? Oh, shit. No. I don't like that. Damn it, wrong button again. I'm far enough inside the line, and the line clearly follows this out here. I'll bet it's throwing a fit because right here it's going to go across each other twice. Field margin should be set on 2. Positive values reduce the field size. Negative increases the field size. See if it poops it out the right way this time. Or if it gets a whole fucking headache and locks my game up. Because Courseplay can't do that. If it gets these weird ass fields and it can't figure it out, I'll sit there and think and think and think and think and locks your damn game up because it won't actually poop out the course and it just sits there. See? And now, the stupid cocksucking thing is doing it too far in. Oh, you piece of shit. So do it again on 0 and actually do it like it's supposed to be done. bad enough I'm going to have to pay attention to you anyway. Oh my God, Farmer Johnson. Holy shit, you ain't a shit in there. Oh, I hate going to Wally World in the first place. Or, as I also call it, Wall Hell. Well, you cocksucking thing, you did it again. And it sucks because there's just some things you gotta frickin' go into that hellhole for just because it's, I don't do a lot of grocery shopping there. There's a few things I get there, but when it comes to groceries, most of my groceries I get at Safeway, and we have another local grocery store that I buy some stuff from. I hate Walmart and their stupid great value bullshit. God, the people that just buy that shit because they think it's fucking cheaper. It's not. And some of it's okay as far as taste wise and that kind of stuff, but there's a lot of that. I hate that crap. If anybody ever gets with me, as far as a female goes, if I come home and I start seeing a bunch of great value shit in my house, there's gonna fucking be hell to pay. There's these things called fucking sales. Buy shit when it's on sale. And I still prefer most name brand stuff. There's some stuff that don't have to be name brand that tastes fine, but there's, like ranch dressing. Fucking buy Hidden Valley Ranch. Sorry. Cheese. When it comes to cheese slices for sandwiches, it better be Kraft singles. I've tried I don't know how many other kinds, and they just taste like shit. I don't know. That's just how I am. There are a few things that I buy great value, like cream. Heavy whipping cream. I do like, as much as I hate great value, I do like great value's heavy whipping cream because it is the thickest heavy whipping cream that I've ever come across. That's like, I mean, as far as thick, it's thick. There's some of them other brands that's like 2% milk when you pour it out, and you're like, it's cream. It's supposed to be fucking thick. I grew up around milk cows. We had real cream. We had we had the milk cows, and we had a cream separator out in the milk barn, or the milking shed, or whatever you wanted to call it. We always called it the milking shed, where you kept your milking pails, and always everybody had an old International. Most all of them I remember were International cream separators, whether they were hand crank or they were electric. And everybody took turns. One week one person did the milking, and another week somebody else did the milking. And we always had good fresh cream. And I mean the cream that whatever we put it into for a container, you could take a spoon and scoop it out. You had to scoop it out because it didn't pour out. And none of this pasteurized bullshit that the government seems to think we gotta fucking have. But so when it comes to buying cream, I do buy great value cream because it is the thickest I have run across. It's thick, and I don't care to want to know why it's thicker than others. It's just thicker. So I guess in some senses, I'll eat my words on some of that, but most things I don't want to see great value shit in my house. Once in a while, I buy it because it's all that's there. If I'm looking for something, and Walmart's good about that. They like not having much of the other brand stuff around. Once in a while, they like to cram their great value shit down your throat. But I'm a people watcher. When I go shopping, I watch people and how stupid they are. And man, there are a lot of stupid people out there. Well, let's see what it does on point two. But anyhow, you know, well, I grew up with it, and I'm not a huge milk drinker. Never have been a very good milk drinker. But cooking with it, there's a difference when you have good fresh whole milk, and I always buy whole milk when I buy regular milk. I never buy that 2% shit. And anybody that drinks 1%, that's just like, why don't you just drink water and put some white food coloring in it? Yep, I'm like you, Farmer Johnson. That's all I buy is whole milk. Well, maybe the .2 thing will get her close, because it still looks like it's too far in, but at least we got a course. It's got to be... It looks better than the other core. I wonder why the hell it's wanting to do that. Anyhow, okay. So let's put the copy thing on there, and we'll put you on right. Better put first waypoint. Go over here. We got to get the old Baffus Blue boy, big boy over here. Let's see. There we go. And while I'm here, I guess we just as well copy it. And you are left. Let's push you on first waypoint and get you over there. But anyway, so like when I make mashed potatoes, I make good homemade mashed potatoes from potatoes that I got from the local potato farm for free. So I buy potatoes. I'm not too proud to buy potatoes. Potatoes aren't one of them things but usually in the fall, we have enough potato guys that still raise potatoes are close enough. I can go and run up to Alliance, which is 40 miles away, and them guys give it to you for free. So I'll get 150 pounds of potatoes or so and share some with some friends. And I got a basement that's fairly cold, so I got plenty of potatoes throughout the winter. But potatoes are not, that's not something that bothers me to buy in a grocery store per se. Tomatoes. God, I hate grocery store bought tomatoes. Ugh, the fucking things drive me nuts. This time of year drives me nuts because I love tomatoes on, like on a hamburger or a ham sandwich or whatever the hell you're making. But them stupid things, red texture like a fucking apple, and they barely taste like a tomato. But as I was saying, when I make homemade mashed potatoes, I use whole milk, I use cream, and I use butter. As soon as I get the water drained off of the potatoes after I get from boiling, that's when I throw 2 tablespoons or so of butter in there, let it melt. I put the lid on it, let it melt a little bit while whatever I'm cooking, I'm going back to. And as soon as that's all melted, and put the salt and pepper in there, and of course, got to have a little bit of garlic. So I just put some powdered garlic powder in there usually, and a little bit of whole milk and a little bit of whipping cream. And there's nothing wrong. I mean, yeah, I get that too, Farmer Johnson. I don't. I don't. My garden's small enough that I don't have a very good area for raising potatoes, and I don't need to when I can get them free from potato farmers. It's 2 sticks of butter? Jesus Christ! I guess that all kinds of depends on how much mashed potatoes you make. I mean, when I make mashed potatoes, I always make more than I need, of course, because leftovers are king where I come from. That way I don't have to worry about. That way I don't have to cook every night. See, that's usually what I do is when my daughter's here, Tori's here, that's when we have I have my bigger meals where it's, a 3-course meal or 5-course, whatever the hell you want to call it. Don't always make as a dessert because for some reason, that kid, actually, I was the same way, I guess, growing up. Desserts weren't all that big of a deal to me. I sure had my favorites, but wasn't one of them things I had to have. You know how some people, man, they got to have some kind of dessert with whatever they have for a meal. I was always one of them that I'd always go back for seconds or whatever the meal was, more than as opposed to have pie and all that kind of stuff. Now, the older I get, now I'm older, dessert thing's all right. There again, my middle my middle section where it seems to grow a little more in the wintertime than I wish it would. Sometimes probably don't agree with that whole liking desserts as much. Yeah, well, Lynette, you already know what I think of the fucking federal food program. I think they're a bunch of fucking bullshit. 1%. Why? And there again, that all goes back to all of a sudden everybody's allergic to fucking everything, and everybody wants to sue everybody for something. So we can't. A friend of mine, she worked at a ESU 13 here, is what it's called, and it's what the hell is it? It's basically a daycare type thing. And it's government run. I don't remember what the hell all is. I mean, and there are some more special needs type of kids there, Downs and that kind of stuff. But some of it's also just lower income families that can't afford true daycare. And of course, they had bigger, they would provide meals from them. And she was talking about one day they had pancakes. Cool pancakes. I mean, I'm not a huge pancake guy. I'd much rather have waffles or French toast over pancakes, but I don't mind a good pancake once in a while. And she was talking, and she was groaning. They taste like crap. I go, what do you mean they taste like crap? I said, well, they're pancakes. If they taste that bad, just drown the goddamn things in syrup. And she goes, well, we can't have syrup. I go, what the fuck do you mean you can't have syrup? I get, real maple syrup's some expensive shit, and I don't get it very often because it's expensive. So I'll, buy just regular pancake syrup that's like syrup, taste, I always like the butter pecan one when it comes to flavored ones. And I go, but what do you mean you don't have syrup? She goes, well, we can't have syrup. I go, what the fuck do you mean you can't have syrup for pancakes? And she goes, well, because it's a government thing. They can't have too much sugars. I go, oh, okay. I go, well then, put some butter on there and some peanut butter. Because I grew up that way. We'd put peanut butter on our pancakes once in a while. And if you put them on there right after they're off the griddle or out of the oven and they're warm, it kind of melts the peanut butter into the pancake, right? And she goes, well, we can't have peanut butter either. I go, what the fuck do you mean you can't have peanut butter? She goes, well, we can't have peanut butter in case we might have a kid in here that's allergic to peanuts, has a peanut allergy. And I go, well, shouldn't that be part of a fucking signed disclosure for that kid? I mean, okay. So them poor fucking kids were eating pancakes, and I don't even think they had real butter because that's a dairy product or something. So you might. I'm going. Are you kidding me? Them fucking cooks over there are cooking fucking pancakes, making these kids eat fucking pancakes with nothing on them, no jelly, no nothing. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, talk about a dry mouthful of shit. And I'm just going. The fucking government's just stupid because there again. I get it. This kid over here, little Joey over here, he's got a lactose intolerant problem, and then you got little Betty over here. She's allergic to gluten, and then you got Knothead over here, little I don't know what the hell you want to call her, red-headed stepchild. She's allergic to peanuts. I get it. People have allergies, but when in the fuck's the government going to stop trying to protect everybody against everything? Make people fucking responsible for their own selves. So the gal, the little redheaded stepchild over here that's got this peanut allergies, you're gonna tell me her fucking parents don't know this? Well, if they know it, it's pretty simple. You take the statement thing to fucking school and say, okay, my kid can't have peanuts, and she can't have certain things that have peanut products in it. I get it. So she's got to have a little bit of a special diet, but all because of all of that, now we got to have this weird, bland bullshit that the government's going to protect everybody against everything. So these kids nowadays, the crap they got to eat at school. It's just, and then who made some of these school meals the worst? That goddamn Miss Obama bitch. She got into that fucking school lunch program and she really screwed it up. Ugh. And then these guys wonder why kids don't want to go to school sometimes. Well, you feed them the shit you feed them. I mean, where I went to school, and it was still government and all that kind of stuff, but at least it was back when everybody was fucking pansy ass worried about every stupid little fucking thing, I guess. So we still had pretty decent lunches. But some of these kids nowadays, some of the shit that they have to eat for lunch is like, Jesus Christ. I just couldn't believe that when she was telling me that. Well, I mean, and if you can't have syrup, and you can't have jelly, and you can't have peanut butter, then what the fuck you serving a goddamn dry-ass hamburger for? Or I mean, pancake. You know, on the cook's part of it. Why make pancakes when they can't put the shit on there? That I mean, I can just about imagine how many kids looked at that fucking plain pancake on their goddamn platter that morning and went, "Oh God." I know I sure as the hell would have. I never did. I never did either, Farmer Johnson. I mean, I knew, we're exactly the same age, pretty much. You know, what the hell's a food allergy? You know, and a lot of people, and I am not, I understand people have food allergies. That's not what I'm talking about here. But why do we have to lump it into one thing and make it so everybody, like I said, the government wants to control everything. That's the same thing with the whole fucking electric cars thing. You know, everybody's going to have an electric car because we're saving the environment. Yeah, bullshit. Have you ever seen what a fucking lithium mine looks like? You fucking idiots. Oh, and then all of a sudden we get cold weather. People in Chicago and New York, because it's 40 fucking below, they're going a quarter of a distance of what their fucking cars are supposed to go electric. They're all mad because their electric cars won't go anywhere. Well, no fucking shit. But by God, the government's going to solve all of our fucking problems. Huh. So why the fuck are you sitting there like a dipshit? I get why this guy's fucked up. Oh, this must mean numbnuts here decided not to stop fast enough. This is again part of their stupid ass goddamn way they did these intersections. Well, shall we fix one of these here? We shall, because this one's not a hard one to fix. Will you fucking stop? I do not remember the brakes doing that bullshit on this stupid mod, and I know I've worked on it. Alright, from here to here, you go like so. And delete this stupid shit. And from here to here, you go like so. And then, of course, we got to have one coming from here, off of this side, going to this side, so we go like so. You got to have one from... Okay. He's going this way. And we got one going... I don't know why I fucked that up, didn't I? Oops. No, I didn't. That's right. He's going that way. Only, I put him in the wrong spot. Oops, dum-dum. See? I do stupid shit once in a while. There. Oh, no, that was right. That was right. See, now I'm second-guessing myself. Jesus H. Christ. You know, I learned that a long time ago from old-timers and growing up around old people. What the hell does H sound like? Stand for? In Jesus H. Christ. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I know I'm missing one. I need 4 here. So this guy's going this way. This guy's coming this way to go that way. So this guy needs to go to that one. Then if this guy... that's the one I'm missing. I need one that goes from there. Ah, my camera right. One from there to there. That's what I was missing. There we go. See? 4. See? You know what you're doing. Now what the hell's so hard about making an intersection look like that instead of that weird, stupid bullshit they had? Alright. Now, you dipshit. You don't need to be coming into that corner fucking Mach 5 either. now. Mach 2 or Mach 3 might be okay, but not Mach 5. Oh yeah, I've watched a lot of old Ronald Reagan interviews and stuff. There's one where he's on Johnny Carson in like '77 or some darn thing like that before he was even president. And he was talking about not. He was a pretty smart man, and there's a lot of things that he had to say that if people. I mean, there's a lot of people, you even mention Ronald Reagan now, they throw a freaking absolute shit fit because, oh my God, Reaganomics, he's a Republican. Oh yeah, well, you know. He was all for free thinking and stuff like that. So we got all these people nowadays that throw an absolute shit fit. But all right, are you empty yet? Okay, good. He's coming back. Hurry up, Mac. So anyway, well there you go. That's okay, Farmer Johnson, and that's what I'm talking about. You got all these people that are on the old anti-GMO shit, and you're on these organic bullshit. But yet, it's okay if they have that kind of crap in all of that shit. That's the stuff that's harder on us and worse for us than actual fucking regular food. All the preservative bullshit that we don't need and and I honestly think when my daughter had her leaky gut issue thing, it wasn't the gluten. Like I said, when we did the allergy tests, she wasn't allergic to gluten. She wasn't allergic to sugar. She's not, she's not lactose intolerant, and she's not diabetic. And we cut some of the sugar out of her diet because it causes her to have more pimples. And she's that age where, it's more embarrassing. So, and you can always tell when she's had more sugar than she probably should have because she has more zits show up. But, so I've been down that road. I understand the whole gluten tolerant, being lactose intolerant. And I understand the whole being allergic to certain shit and having diabetics and being allergic to gluten and needing to be gluten free. I don't discredit them, and I get it. People are allergic to shit. But I also think some of the stupid shit that our government does is help people. It's made it worse. I'll stand by it to the day I fucking die. I think there's more problems with people and what they've had and the allergies caused more by the crap that the government puts in the food that's supposed to be a preservative. Well, I get it. You need to preserve food to a certain extent. I'm not going to deny that. But do we need to be able to have food that's shelf stable for 50 fucking years? I mean, when you go downstairs and you've got that can of green beans that says Galler Jingayan on the side of the son of a bitch, and it's 50 fucking years old, and it's all poofed up and popped out to the top and all that other kind of shit, any common human being is going to go, oh, better not pop that old bastard open and eat it, because it might have botulism. I mean, there's a certain thing called common sense. I mean, I know we need to have food that's shelf stable for a certain amount of time, but I also got canned goods downstairs from my grandma that are 10 fucking years old right before she passed away. There ain't a fucking thing wrong with them. I mean, the green beans might not be quite as green as they were, but the little topper thing, when they frickin' did the pressure cook shit to it and did all that kind of stuff, you can still push it, and it doesn't go pop, 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 pop. It's still hard. But you know what? There ain't a bunch of bullshit in there. There's none. There's water and green beans in there, and I don't know, maybe some alum or something along those lines to help keep it fresh or whatever. The older people did with canning tricks. It wasn't this can of beans that I went to the grocery store and bought that's canned. And you look at it, and there's 5 bazillion things in there that you can't even fucking pronounce. But by God, we got to have anti-GMO shit. We got to have organic shit because that's better for you. Oh, fuck off, people. And I'll guarantee you, you buy that can of organic crap and you look at the back of it and it's still got all that preservative bullshit in there. So what the fuck did you gain? Not a fucking thing. Why, we're all over the place tonight on this stupid stream, aren't we? From cooking to all kinds of shit. Well, I don't know what the hell where my mind is today. I thought I was in a good mood. Anyway. Oh. Whoa, I gotta look back here. Sorry, Rank, I did not catch what you said. Rank, in a combine, do you actually sit high in the cab like in Farm Sim? Or is the cab higher than in a cab in a forage harvester? You know, what I know, what the best way to answer that, Rank, or Cody, they're about the same height off the ground, I think. I do know, is it Kloss? Or is it, Fint? One that makes, there is a forage harvester out there that makes a cab that you can adjust the height on. That will raise. I think that's Kloss that's got one that does that. Or is it Fint? I don't know. But as far as between the two, they're pretty much the same height off the ground. For what little I have never been in too many. I've been in a couple forage forage harvesters, choppers, whatever the hell you want to call them. But like John Deere, the cab that's on a S680 or S780 is the same. They use the same cabs. So I would say they're probably pretty close to the same height off the ground because tires are about the same height, same, and on a chopper you're sitting under your chopping cylinder. So, and then on a combine you're either sitting just in front or over the top of your accelerator or your part of your gather chains and your rotor. So I mean, they all sit pretty high off the ground. I think they're probably about equal. I mean, it doesn't matter. That's the best I could tell you for an answer. What do you mean? Does she get enough zinc in her diet? Why the fuck wouldn't she? I would imagine she does. That's what I need to get back into doing too. She used to take a multivitamin in the mornings all the time, and she hasn't been doing that here in the last year. Gotta get her some good old, gotta get her some of them good old Flintstone fucking vitamins, man. That's what I grew up with. Remember them fucking Flintstone chewables, something things? Any good kid's gotta have some Flintstones in their diet, don't they? Yabba dabba dabba doo! Anyhow. And cartoons, man, them things aren't worth a shit no more either. Wow, cartoons are. Woof. Yeah. I grew up with them damn things. If I had to do it again, back when I was a kid and Mom got the Flintstones chewables, I thought I was in frickin' seventh heaven, But looking back on it now, they really did not taste that great. But I sure as hell remember them. We had them, that's for sure. I would imagine, Lynette, that she gets enough zinc in her diet. you know, and there again, back when people did do more of the home cooking type of meals and stuff, um, you know, people were healthier. I honestly think. You know, and I don't, and I don't know, I get it, but people are all got that, well, I'm just too busy excuse for everything nowadays. So, and I get it. I've been there. I've had a couple stepdaughters that got cool shit got busy before I got divorced, and I get the whole high school shit and always something going on and all. I get all that, but an excuse is a fucking excuse. You're gonna tell me that if kids had more good home cooked meals that there'd be a few less allergies out there. Obesity damn sure wouldn't be near as bad as the people that frickin' live off fucking McDonald's. You know, I know why I'm overweight, and it's not because I spend all my time eating at fucking fast food restaurants. It's because I make good food at home, and it's not the food. It's my generation, and I'm sure Farmer Johnson can attest to this. What was always drummed into us? Clean your plate, clean your plate, clean your plate. You always clean your plate. Make goddamn sure you clean your plate, right? Your mom and dad, clean your plate. Don't waste food. And I'm still the same way. I do not like, nothing pisses me off more than watching people throw fucking food away. Well, I got this kid at work that just drives me fucking nuts on all kinds of levels, and that's one of them. A little cocksucker. You know, our boss buys us, you know, for our Christmas deal party. He, you know, everybody brings something to the party, and I usually bring a cake, and I usually bring some potatoes that I cook overnight in butter and garlic, and you know, no, it's not diet food by any means, but and he goes to town and buys this nice big thick New York strip steaks, and we grill steaks and have a good meal, and you know, usually some kind of salad brat and some baked beans or whatever. But that little son of a bitch, 3 years now he's been there, and he throws his fucking steak away at the end of the day. He'll take 3 or 4 bites of that son of a bitch and throw it away. And the way I was taught, my mom would have whipped fucking knots on my head like right fucking now. You know, and it's not like it's a fucking hamburger you're throwing away either. I mean, he has no, it drives me fucking nuts. It's disrespectful for one, in my opinion, but anyhow. As I was getting to, part of some of our obesity problem is, you know, like I was getting at, where like Farmer Johnson and our era, our generation, I think we're Gen Zers. Is that what they call them? Right before Gen X, because we're not baby boomers. We're not millennials. I don't know what the fuck it is. Those of us was born in the 70s and got taught morals, and also got taught and also grew up with Nintendo's being introduced to society, and computers and all kinds of fun shit, and went from console TVs to flat screen TVs that are twice the size and a quarter of the weight. But anyhow, I just know that I know he was. I'm sure he was probably raised the same way. Pretty close to the same way I was. You cleaned your plate, so you drummed that into your kid's head at a young age. They had to eat everything that was on their plate, because you know, our parents, some of them grew up around that depressionary type of age, or if they didn't grow up around the depressionary age, they had parents that did grow up during the Depression and were in World War II, where things were rationed and all kinds of stuff like that. So they didn't like to see stuff wasted either. So they drummed into their kids. You ate what the fuck was cooked for supper, your dinner, or whatever. You didn't fucking get this special, oh, I don't like that. Oh, yuck, I don't like that. Well, if you don't like it, don't fucking eat it per se, but shut your fucking mouth and eat everything else that mom cooked, or grandma, or whomever else cooked it. You know, it wasn't that, oh, I don't like that. Can we go get chicken nuggets? No, you little cocksucker, you're going to eat it because I made it. So kids weren't near as picky back then either because they weren't allowed to be. But on top of what I'm trying to get at here, you know me, I take something that should be an easy frickin' take fucking way too long sometimes. But I know for me, part of my problem, and I started eating less. It's because I got drummed into my mind that I needed to eat everything on my plate, whether I took a huge helping or not. You get that drummed into your mind, into your head, and it becomes a habit. So you eat, 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 and we as an American whole, as a public, period, we overeat is our problems. It's not necessarily what we eat; it's more we overeat. I mean, by today's standards, people eat shit that they shouldn't eat because of the fast foods and crap. But for me, good home cooked meal. Part of the reason why I get more overweight is because I eat too much of it. It's like that goulash stuff I made the other night. I ate way more of it than I should because it tasted fucking good, you know. So that's been more of a discipline thing on for me in the last five, 7 years or so. I've been actually being more cognizant in my mind, and that's one of the things I have figured out. It's not we eat more than we need to. And I know that's where it came from. It came from as growing up as a kid, you kept being told, clean your plate. We don't waste food here. Clean your plate. And I found myself for a while was that way with my daughter, you know, and I'm like, oh man, you got to rethink this here because you don't want to drum that into her mind, and then she's got to worry about that later on in her life. Because let's face it, as a female, being overweight, it's a lot more, it's a lot worse for females to be overweight than it is a male, as far as society and how society views you and that kind of horse shit, unfortunately. So I'm thinking, well, as a good parent here, I need to teach her how to make sure she eats what she takes. Right? That's one of the things of growing up, making sure that when you get old enough that you 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 learn how to take proportions for however hungry you may think you are. So that's part of growing up. And you always did that, you know, and how your parents taught you how to do that. They made you fucking eat what you took. Was part of it. So I got to where it's like, okay, you know, and she doesn't. She's pretty good about not taking too much. But once in a while, you know, there's the difference too when you got a kid that's trying to get out of eating something because they're being a shit, as opposed to they really are full. You know, when one of them takes 3 or 4 bites and they go, oh, I'm full. Well, that's when, you know, and that's when you've made something that's not necessarily their favorite. You know, it's not a McDonald's fucking McNugget dinner where they'll eat all fucking 10 nuggets and all that kind of shit. And don't get me wrong, I like my nuggets too, but um, that's when, you know, kids do that, oh, I'm full thing. Ah, bullshit. You've only taken 3 or 4 bites. But anyhow, so I've gotten to where, you know, if she really is full, because you can tell how much she's ate, you know, if it's the third helping of something that she's gotten and she's yakking about being full, then okay, she's full. Or a second helping or whatever. And then she's like, oh, Dad, I can't quite finish that. And it's like, okay. You know, it's like, you know, or if it's where she's ate some and she's just kind of, you know, it's not her favorite thing. It's like, okay, you need to take 3 or 4 more bites. It's not, I try to do that as opposed to the clean your fucking plate thing that I got drummed into my head. So, hopefully I'm a little bit better a parent that way. I try to be. Ah. I thought I had that combine mod in here where it's supposed to. Come on, where you at? There you are. 6 one way, half a dozen the other when it comes to this deal, huh? Boy, this field is one screwed up field, the way they got it laid out. Welcome to the stream, CFL. What the hell are you talking about? Farmer Johnson, Gen X. That's what I thought. We're not, you know, because we're not millennials. That's the next generation from us, up from us, or down to up, whatever the fuck. The next younger generation. Yeah, our generation still usually has some common sense. Usually, some of us. Although I've seen some generation people my age, it's like, what the fuck are you? Why are you raising your kids that way? I find the air cart pack, the New Holland and Kate. Yeah, right. Okay. I told you where to get that last night or last stream. I don't even know if I even think I even put the itch.io up in the stream chat for you. Is the Flexi a good air drill seeder? CFL, that's one of them, a personal preference thing. There's a couple different ones out there that do that change the crop icons. There's the ones that, what the hell's the one we use? I can't think of that goddamn thing. But there's different ones out there. There's one of them that kind of turns, it's more of a cartoonish. I don't like it per se. But as far as the FlexiCoil, as far as I know, it's an okay mod. I mean, as far as in real life, they were all right drills. One of the first place I worked for out of college, we sold FlexiCoils, and we'd sold quite a few of them. They seemed like they were an all right air drill at the time. Not quite sure why they got bought out. I can't remember who they got bought out by. I don't think it was Concord. It was somebody. There's an episode where Nick Welker talks about who they got bought out by, and I can't remember. Because Nick Welker's have some FlexiCoil stuff. But anyhow, as far as the mod that we have in here, I haven't had a chance to use it per se. It works. It fills, unfills. I mean, and it's just a reskin of. It's not a true FlexiCoil per se. It's just a reskin. Now the case pack, that's. And I didn't quite understand why the hell they had a FlexiCoil option in the air carts, because there isn't a FlexiCoil seed, the drill part. And I know that particular air cart works with, unless those guys are working on one that they're gonna recolor that Case New Holland one and make it look like a FlexiCoil. But I don't think FlexiCoil is not owned by. They didn't get bought out by Case IH. I'm pretty sure it's somebody else. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I can't tell you anything about Seed Hawks as far as real life. I know it's one of the mods that I use from time to time, on here, because for one, it's 84 foot, and it seems to always work as far as the mod goes. I like the Borgo. Now, if you look at Mike Mitchell, he was actually going through the equipment lot the other day, and he was showing some Seed Hawks and Vatter stats or whatever. And he was showing the difference between how the shanks and stuff are made on the seed placement shanks, and the points on the shanks and stuff compared to the Burgo. And I'm sure there's probably a price difference too, but the Burgo is built a lot heavier as far as that goes. And he wasn't saying anything sort of bad about the Seed Hawks. He was just simply saying that he thought the Borgo was built heavier. So that was part of the reason why their family farm runs Borgos. But he did say that he thought Seahawks had a better metering system than Borgos. He referred to the Borgos metering system as a meat grinder. So, there again, 6 one way, half a dozen other. That's why we have Ford, Dodge, Chevy. That's why we have John Deere, Case, New Holland, Kloss, AGCO. What one guy has good luck with, the other guy don't type shit. I mean, that's part of the options of life. But oh, look. They did buy. Okay, so I stand wrong. I didn't think it was CNH that bought FlexiCoil. I thought there was somebody else that was bought FlexiCoil. Well, look, another corporation that Case is fucked up. Okay. Everybody close their eyes, will you? Like right now. All right, you can open them now. Anyhow, I know you're a grain farmer in Saskatchewan, CFL. And I think the Seed Hawk, I have never seen a Seed Hawk ever anywhere around here. And we have some wheat fields around here. You get in the southern part of the Panhandle, and where I grew up, or finished growing up and graduated from, as far as high school goes, there's a lot of wheat strips over in Banner County, south of here. So there's a lot of wheat farms. But I've never ever have seen a Seed Hawk or a Batterstad or any of that around here. Everything around here is John Deere. I'm sure there's some other stuff when it comes to some air seeders, but I'm not sure what per se. Borgo, there isn't any Borgos around here either, because them some bitches cost some money. Most of the air seeders and stuff around here, like I said, there's a lot of John Deere stuff, and then like when I was living out there still as a kid, growing up around all the wheat farms and stuff, there was a lot of the old cup drills, with 15-foot sections, and you had three 15-foot sections all together. The old John Deere's, the Krauses, the crust busters. There was a lot of crust busters back in the day where I grew up. Um, and then everybody wanted bigger stuff, and you need to be able to fold it up and go down the road. So those section drills like that, it's hard to do that. Because back then a lot of people had what they called a Donahue, and they'd pull them stupid drills on those Donahues and get them going down the road with them. But now, Farmer Johnson, thanks for giving me the info on all that, but I know exactly what has been bought. Except for, like I said, I wasn't sure about, some of the short line stuff. I'm not ever sure exactly who bought who out, and I don't remember when Flexicoil did get bought out. But like I said, I didn't realize that was Case IH. But maybe Nick did talk about that in that one app. There was an episode he was talking. They were rebuilding some of the packing wheels on that Flexicoil. I think he was talking about it in that episode or something. I don't remember what episode it was when he was talking about Flexicoil getting bought out. But I didn't realize it was Case IH. I was working for a Ford New Holland dealership when New Holland bought Ford out. Why do you think I said what I said about this tractor over here? This 9884. Now see, these tractors came out, I want to say 92-ish, 94-ish. Maybe the 82 series was 92. But either way, yes, the New Holland's not wrong. But the very first ones, this is still a Ford-developed tractor. This isn't new. This is not a true New Holland when it comes to the versatile part of it. The 84 series was the last of the Ford versatile. At the very end of those, they just rebadged them. They left them yellow. They left them blue, but they just rebadged them with New Holland and took the Ford off them. And then there's some of them that should say Ford and New Holland both on them. Now I want to say the 82 series, the 98, 82, 94, 96, 82, 94. I think they had a 94, 82. But anyway, those all should say Ford. There shouldn't be any of those that say New Holland. Is Gleaner a good combine? I think Gleaners are a good combine. I broke my teeth as a combine mechanic on Gleaners. I know there's a lot of people that like to give you, give them shit about the whole silver cedars and why Gleaner always galvanized their stuff instead of painting it. That way you could use duct tape to fix it. That way one couldn't see it. And yada yada yada. But I know that in a Gleaner rotary combine, and like I don't know if he was part of the stream the other night when Morris and I were talking about it, in about 15-20 minutes, if you're really good, you can have a rotor pulled out of a Gleaner. I'd like to see you do that with a Case IH, New Holland, John Deere. There ain't a fucking one of those that you're going to be able to get a rotor pulled in that fast. Let's see. Did I get him all the way empty? And part of the reason why is because to get a rotor out of a John Deere, you got to pull the feeder house off and all this other bullshit in order to get the rotor out. Where a Gleaner, the rotor sits transverse right behind the cab. So you pop this, the older ones you could take down the cover, and there's this big octagon with bolts around it, and that's what bolts the rotor to. And you unbolt all those bolts. There's a little inspection hole that you can put a fork in, and you put that fork in there, and you just pull it right on out because you got to slip a spline shaft on the end of it, and a coupler that goes into the transmission on the other side. Part of Gleaner's problem is they've been spending too much money in development on a piece of shit ideals. So there hasn't been anything new when it comes to Gleaners. But if you look at the technology of a Gleaner today, and you look at the technology of a Gleaner back in 1980 when it was the N series, the N6s and the N7s, it's all really similar. Another problem you have with a Gleaner opposed to a John Deere or something like that, you buy a John Deere 9750, 9650, and you have a 930 or a 935 or a 940 head, I think would be about right for age appropriate to be comparable. And you can trade that combine off for a 9870, let's say, an upgrade 2 series or an S680. And you can still use that head on those combines. Or let's say I decide that I want to go to a different brand. It's a lot easier because the header, the feeder houses on some of those, on a John Deere and a New Holland and a Case IH are all real similar in how they're built. So you don't have to do as much to adapt to another brand's head. Where a Gleaner has what they call an offset feeder house. And what I mean by that is, if I can jump up here, see how this feeder house is all the same down there? That your feeder house is all the same width, goes the same all the way back. On a Gleaner, they have an offset feeder house, so it's a lot smaller of a feeder house, and it's off to the side here because they have the natural flow that goes up to the transverse rotor and pulls it through, and then it discharges it on the other side of the combine. It's also why on a Gleaner, You have a discharge on this side, and so you have chaff and stuff that comes out the back like normal, but on this side, this is where your straw and all that stuff at. That's why the older ones you see one beater on the one side because that's where all the straw's coming out on the one side because of the flow of the crop coming through there. Now they also sell that the natural flow, the crop never changes direction, which it don't. So it feeds better and it's gentler on the grain sample. So I can guarantee you a gleaner will have one of the cleanest samples out there of anybody on the market because of that. So what I'm getting at here with the whole feeder house being offset, you never see, and I don't think I've ever seen a gleaner running a John Deere head. I've never seen a gleaner running an international head. You know, never seen a gleaner running in another company's head, you know, other than like a MacDon. That's different because MacDons just make adapters for their heads and sell it to whomever the farmer, whatever he's making has for a combine. And that's a weak point in a MacDon head too. I hate MacDons. I think they're a piece of shit, fucking light built goddamn head. We got one of them cantankerous piece of shits. I hate that fucking flex head. Oh. But anyhow, but that's part of the problem with the gleaners is for people to trade out of one kind of a color of a combine into a gleaner. You got to buy a whole set of heads for it because of that. That's kind of like going from an S680 or a 9770 to an X9. That feeder house on an X9 is fucking humongous. So if you have a let's just say have an FD 745 foot flex head, it's not going to just slap right up on that X9 because the feeder houses are a little bit different. I would like to see some more, a few more American, well, imagine that, me wanting to see some more American options. I'd like to see some more American tillage tools, bigger tillage tools, you know, like Kraus. And I know Kraus isn't Kraus anymore. They got bought out by Kuhn. It's Kuhn Kraus now, which isn't Kuhn under the AGCO umbrella also? No. Because Sunflower is owned by, Sunflower is no longer Sunflower. It's owned by AGCO too, I think. But either way, you know, Kraus made discs and chisel plows and field cultivators for years. They were a short line company and made decent cup drills and 3-point drills and that kind of stuff. Crust buster, stuff like that. I'd like to see more of that kind of stuff. Even the modders, I'd like to see some more. I'd like to see a lot more Sunflower tillage equipment than what we got. I'd like to see more Landau stuff than what we got. I mean, you know, we got some. Some of the Sunflower stuff is just reskinned. You know, there's been some Sunflower field cultivators out there, and all they are the reskinned John Deere 5 section 2410 or whatever the hell that is. But that's my thoughts on a Gleaner combine. I broke my teeth on a Gleaner combine. If we had a good Gleaner mod, like I said, I'd like to be running instead of this 9780 or them 9510s or 9610 John Deeres that I got. Even though I pea green, I'd like to be running like an R75 right now. It'd be about age appropriate for what I want to be as far as age goes. And in real life, you can get a really nice sample off of the Gleaner. But Gleaners got two limiting factors on their combine when it comes to upgradability. One of them is how they've designed their unload auger. A lot of people like to make fun of that unload auger, but it's actually a cool design because there's actually, there again, your crop isn't changing directions when they unload because of how they got that designed. It's unloading it. It doesn't come up, it doesn't hit. Doesn't go 90 degrees up up a small pipe and then go another 90 degrees out the pipe. It just comes out because of how that's the knuckle's designed. But also, the way that knuckle's designed to support that, it's hard to get a really long auger, and how they unfold, they go up for a ways before they come out. So you got to be really careful of power lines, and you got to be really careful of trees and shit like that because of that, the height thing. But the way they're supported, it makes them hard for them to get a really long auger, so they can run 60-foot heads or 50-foot heads on them. The other limiting factor on a gleaner is, like I said, that offset feeder house. You can only make that offset feeder house so big because of how it's got to feed into that cylinder. So in order to get your capacities with a gleaner, you have a hard time because that's a focal point of a throttling point in your feeder house, and then your other throttling point is the straw system to get rid of the straw through the beater and that stuff on the other side of the combine, on the ass end of it. But I rode in an S97. I think that's what Shorty's cruise runs. They run 3 S97s with Morris this summer when they were through here, and they got a nice cab on them. They're nice, quiet, run nice, good visibility, comfortable. The buddy seat was fairly comfortable for being in there for, I don't know what it was, 3 hours or whatever I was in there. I think when it comes to cabs on most any of these anymore, they're all pretty close to similar as far as comfort. Although the Kloss, they look like they have a small cab on them. The Klosses do. That longer, weird, funny-looking barrel thing that they have, but either way, I've combine corn in an old 1460, and combine corn and soybeans in a 1680. It was a 1660. The transition basically between international and Case IH. I've combine corn and wheat, and I've never combined wheat per se personally, and these two are gonna about to fuck. Oof, they missed each other, thank God. Where am I? God, there you are. Oh boy, clear the hell over there he is. But anyway, what I'm getting at is I've been through the different generations coming up from combines from late 70s to clear to now, and you want to talk about a difference in cabs and comfort. I mean, yeah, it was nice back then just to have the damn dirt and chaff on you and just an air conditioner that somewhat worked, right? I mean, you were all happy about that. Now you look at the creature comforts of a combine cab now, and it's nice to have auto steer and row finder and all that kind of crap on there if you have it, or contour master. That's out of everything that's been on a combine since I've been running combines, one of the biggest thing is the contour master stuff. That's just huge. And contour master is the plate on the front of the feeder house that's got a cylinder in it, and it works with your auto header height, and it moves the edge of your moves that plate up and down, so you have the right side of your combine might be low and the left side of your combine might be high, so it makes it so it follows the contour of the ground even better. So like when you're combining corn, it's a bigger thing than it is with a flex head. That's probably one of the hugest things that I've out of running combines. It's just the fatigue factor on running the combine all day long especially when you're combining corn, constantly moving your head up and down and watching what you're doing, and you don't want to get the whole curled up snoot thing going on. So contour master and auto header height is probably one of the hugest things. That's a bigger thing to me than even GPS on a combine. I mean, don't get me wrong, GPS is nice, but I can follow a fucking corn row. That don't bother me. I can watch doing that all day long. But it's when you're doing that, watching your head, so you don't crinkle a fucking snoot. It's that makes a long day. So like when I was running clear back even just the 9600, and it made a longer day. You're a lot tireder at the end of the day. But one of the things that blew me away, because even a 97, the 70 series, John Deere's, when them came out, when everybody's talking about, boy, that thing really eats corn. That's a hell of a combine. And we got a hell of a combine finally coming on, and they're right. The 70 series were a good combine. But I tell you what, when they come out with that S series, holy shit, that's still night and day better than even the 70 series. The cab, when they updated the cab from the 70 series to the S series, oh, night and day difference, just night and day. And mostly not necessarily comfort. The comfort part of an S70 series cab isn't horrible. The part I'm talking about is just the quietness. My God, is an S series combine way quieter than a 70 series, especially when you're unloading on the go. The unload auger, that's way quieter on a S series compared to a 70 series John Deere. Anyway, so how's everybody doing tonight? Have you popped into here since I ain't welcomed anybody? Everybody, welcome to the stream. Hopefully we're having a decent one. We've had quite the topics tonight on this stream, from everything from from cooking to family to anyhow. It's been quite the stream actually tonight. It's something else. Covered some shit that I really had no intentions of getting into. Honestly, that's just how my mind works, I guess. You get to thinking about something, you get to talking about something, and it pops in something else that you're talking about. Next thing you know, you're on a whole different subject. So, well, good night, Lynette. And yes, I got your texts, but I'm fucking streaming, so I did not read them yet. And I got on a rant on combines, so I didn't get that answer, did I? Let me see if I can figure. There's the mod that we use, CFL. Let me look. What's the name of that mod? I got to think about this, find this. It's something vehicle HUD or some fucking thing. And it's supposed to, all it does is change the icons for the vehicles. Whether you're in an air drill, a planter, or a combine. Even when you're in a semi haul and stuff, I think it changes the icons. Oh, anybody see that new mod that they're talking about, the realistic damage deal? That looked quite interesting. I watched that. I watched a farm sim guy this afternoon while I was at work, farting around, waiting for parts. I watched him do a review on that mod. That looks like quite the mod. We might have to start using that. Oh, what the hell's the name of that stupid mod? The info display extension, that's not it. Improve, no. Seems like there's some vehicle HUD thing or some damn thing. I'm pretty sure it's in this save folder. Where are you at? What are you? What mod? Simple inspector. I don't think it's Thunder's vehicle HUD extension. I don't think it's that. Oh, what the hell's a mod? I probably skimmed over it looking through this one. Let me go to my use script mod folder, see if I can find it in it. And there's additional production, revamp, field info settings, working speed. Oh, that's something else I need to add to this server. I forgot to add the vehicle sync mod. What the goddamn? I can't find it. I know there's a mod. There's a couple mods out there, and I know we use one, and I can't think of it. I can't find it. Hey, Jimmy, how are you doing this evening? Hope you're doing well. Had a good day. We had another good, nice day. It was 62, 63 today. It was a little cloudier today. It wasn't quite as nice. Yesterday was fucking beautiful yesterday. You couldn't ask for any nicer day yesterday for January, the end of January. It was like 68 degrees, 67, something like that. And we had like maybe a 5 mile an hour breeze, 2 mile an hour breeze, wasn't much of a wind. Oh, it was beautiful yesterday. Had the shop doors open. It was nice. I'm not finding that fucking mod right off the top of my head, CFL. But Google it. There's a. It's like. It's like. It's like something vehicle HUD thing. I don't know what the hell it changes. I know what you're talking about. All it does is change the crop thing for the for your vehicle HUD. And then it also. I can't find it because I'm looking for it more than anything, probably. Anyway. That might be it. I know there's a couple different ones out there. And like I said, one of them's got all kinds of different fruit HUDs, and it changes everything. It's not just the fruit type for the HUDs. It uh, changes like the production HUDs too, how planks and flour and all that shit and milk changes how all that crap looks too. But I don't like it as well because it's more cartoonish in how the stuff looks. Where I like this, the one we're using now, makes everything is more similar. And then of course like the one now, the peas and that stuff, some of that has to do with the map, the HUD that they used for the map part of it. Jaguar 960 has stopped. Okay. Finished work. Check that shit out. My big buds are done. They got done way before I got done. It'll take me forever to get this goddamn field done with 45-foot head by myself. I'm saying, I wish the fuck Morris would have been on here tonight. He could have ran a combine. We could have got at least 2 combines going. And Matt, it's Thursday night, so he got off a little early because tomorrow's his early day at work where he's got to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to work. So I was just getting on about the time he was just getting off. Yep, see, look, well, they got her done and didn't get each other wrapped up, so that's always a plus. All right, so the next one they need to do is right down the street from them. 324. Hopefully, the only thing I worry about 324, this part over here looks all fine, but this crap down in here, I wonder what kind of menagerie horseplay is going to cause with that shit. And it looks like I better be cognate of these lands. I got to use simple land. I can't bypass the lands because these actually have trees in them. Oh boy. Oh boy. Horseplay might not like me. Yeah, I am contemplating on some of these more really screwed up fields like this. Coming in here, buying it, or leasing the ground. Actually, that'd be the best way to do it. Lease the ground, fix all the stupid edges, plow all the edges like you're supposed to, and all the islands that aren't right, that aren't really islands. And then release your lease so then at least it's fixed for the NPC, so when you come back here to do contract work. That might be a winter project. Might it not? Yes, it might. That might be what I'm doing during the winter while everybody else is feeding their shit. And I don't think I want to start there. I think we better start over here on a straighter edge. And we're going on 5 after 9. I wouldn't say I had a great stream as far as turnout. I've had a few people in here that are my regulars, and then I've had a new guy at the beginning. Or no, I guess I thought Ace was a new guy. It was not Ace, it wasn't a new guy. That was Lynette. Anyway, not as good a stream tonight as what I've had in the past as far as viewers. But I guess to each his own. Not always gonna get it knocked out of the ballpark. And maybe with the way Maybe all the crap I talked about tonight, maybe it was a good thing we didn't. All I can tell you, well, maybe we're going to get okay here. And this is the only land, island that's going to show us here. Well, maybe I'll be alright. The only problem I can see we're going to get some screwy wooey wooies is right here. This is this spot right here. It might screw with us there. Now let's go back to no foreign field margin and see what it does. Generate field course. And it'll probably take a little bit. But most likely CFL, that's one of them. That you individual fruit HUD. That's one of them. But there's one that's like vehicle fruit HUD change, something like that. Holy crap! 9 o'clock. I need to quit my stream so I can get it's Star Trek Voyager night time. Yes, I'm a Trekkie. Believe that or not. Oh, okay, good. Oh, come on, course play. Get it pooped out now. Don't lock my damn game up now. When I'm about ready to quit it anyway. This is when I need to get my oh, she got her pooped out and she did it again. I guess I should have left that at 0.2 because I don't get why it's doing this outer the whole putting this outer, because tonight's first night I started doing this stupid shit. Even with this weird, it's not, see, that's not wanting to follow. Wonder what the hell's going on there. Oh. See, and it didn't do the headlands here right, per se. Huh. Well, I guess with that, I just don't get why it's weird. Why is it doing that shit? And tonight's first night it's been doing that weird shit. I get the whole field's funny looking, but I've had some other funny looking fields in the past that weren't doing that. All right, I'll get this guy over there at least, and then we'll probably do my end of stream stuff. I see we're down to one viewer anyway, so I must have lost the farm in Michigan and all of that too. I wonder if he said goodnight and I didn't see it, because he did. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to miss it. If it's an individual mod CFL, it doesn't need to go into a folder, texture folder. It just needs to go into your mods folder and it automatically changes it. Change the textures and stuff in texture folders whether you do it in the in-game one or you do it in the map one, that's for changing textures for the actual fruit period, not the fruit not the HUD part of the fruits. I'll get back to my combine here, or even I guess or here. See, this right here being showed is a mod, and it can be changed in the map a little bit. When you're talking about textures per se, fruit textures are these. What this looks like here. When you go changing fruit textures in folders and stuff, this is what you're changing to make this look better. And proof of that, this map, and I've got better textures, I just need to change it. Oh boy. Where the hell do we have some rye growing? Well, that's sorghum. Rye. I need some rye. Rye is a grayish color. Really? Well, here, we'll do. Even though the damn thing's not my field. Like the rye, I'll show you what I mean by fruit texture needs to be changed because it doesn't look like rye at all. Oh, you dirty, rotten son of a bitch. In the middle of this goddamn field, you're supposed to change this one, not the fucking next one over. That's what the son of a bitch did, didn't it? No, it didn't do that either. It changed it to a growing. I thought I changed it to ready to harvest. Confirm. There we go. See, this is not what rye looks like at all. This is an oat texture. This is what oats looks like. And see, it's not even that great of an oat texture. But this is when you go into texture folders and stuff, and you change this. HUDs and stuff are either part of the mod itself, or I'm sure there's an individual folder for the HUDs for the maps too. I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, with that being said, I think we're going to call her a stream, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies, or gent. There's only one person in here. I think CFL's the only one left in here watching tonight. So I think Farmer Michigan got late on his end of the woods. So I think he's all got off, and I probably missed his goodbye. I'm sorry if I did that. I know Lynette said goodnight. And then Jimmy Stir, he's showing up just as I'm quitting. So, perfect timing, Jimmy. Not really. Anyway, thanks for everybody that did show up tonight, whether it was at the beginning and actually put up with the whole stream or to end here. I'm glad you caught some of it. But we've been going since 6:30, and it's 9:15. So in 15 minutes, that's 3 hours, right? So 3. So let's see, 2.5, 2 hours and 45 minutes is, I think, plenty of a stream for tonight, especially where I'm trying to harvest this fucked up shaped field by myself, and you can only watch me try to do this by myself for so long before it gets kind of boring, I'm sure. Um, and then of course I got to figure out my goddamn big buds over there on that one field. We got one field done as far as contracts go. So that being said, let's go collect some money. Money, money, money. All right, completed. I can. That banker will be happy if I put 135 grand in the bank, I'm pretty sure. Collect. There we go. And looking at the bank account, I got 135,000 and now I'm up to 162,000. I needed it. I needed that money. So, alrighty. Let's tab out of this and get into my Streamlabs HUD here. So, anyhow, thanks everybody that's been here. Thanks for it's quite the stream. It was interesting. We ended up talking about all kinds of crap tonight. You know, I really there's been times I've been thinking to try to not talk about some of that stuff, but I guess that's who I am. I guess that's just who I am. The more people around me, the more they I don't know. Life's life, and there's lots of things that people can talk about. And when you're live streaming, it's not just talking about necessarily farm sim and people that are hanging out in your chat. It's about all kinds of shit to talk about. So, and we darn sure covered all kinds of shit tonight when it come to talked about how to cook homemade spaghetti sauce and how to make my blonde goulash. So we had a little bit of a cooking show, and we also had a little bit of Dr. Phil on how I think women and men and marriages and being partners with someone should be. And talked about kids. Anyway, I and I like I said, I realize that it's all my opinion on how I believe things should be done, and opinions are like assholes. They all can stink, right? So anyhow, thanks for everybody for being here. Give a shout out to Jimmy Stir. Thanks for popping in here at the end. Give a shout out to Hoonigan. It was nice to see him show up for that 1 minute that he was here, considering he's one of my moderators, and for some reason my moderators lately haven't been showing up very much. Not sure why. Didn't see Ninja at all. He's another one of my moderators. He wasn't. It was pretty slow going at first. Mama Bear, give her a shout out. You know, make sure everybody goes over and watches some of her stuff that she's been putting out as far as her content. She's a fellow farm sims. She doesn't do. I don't know if she does many streams. I've seen her. I think she's been part of Rabbit Rob's. I think she plays with him on his server in some of his streams, or if they how they. I don't know if he's got a server, but anyway, I think she's been a part of some of his streams. Didn't see Keith again tonight, so. But anyway, been kind of a slow night as far as people in here. But anyway, make sure you go check out Mama Bear. She's got a channel herself, and she's put out some okay content. She likes to play some of that more foreign. I seen she was starting a whole new save today, single player on Hoff Bergman, I think. And kudos to her because I cannot stand playing foreign maps. Not sure why. Just something about a foreign map. I cannot get into it. I've even Australia, and I farted around some of them Australia maps, and there's some big maps for Australia, some big fields and stuff. I just they're okay. I just can't get into them. But anyway, go check her out. Make sure when Morris finally gets going again, go out and check out Robert's farming and gaming channel also. Oh, and Jakester, Jake29, he's got a channel he's just kicking off over there, putting out some. I think last night he put out his first live stream, farting around with live streaming a little bit. And he's got quite a few single player stuff out there now that he's getting out. So anyhow, with that, as far as giving out shout outs to some channel guys, there's some of those. And I got to give some thanks to like Dirk over at his channel. Thanks for all the help you've given me over the last year. Got a good channel himself. Um, Big Rig Frosty, which sounds like he's been having some issues. He's going to go over to Twitch, I think. Jake, I haven't seen Jake for a little while, but Jake, he's helped me out quite a bit. Matter of fact, that's who helped design my logo. So we got to give some of those guys some credit. Shout outs, 4B, that guy. And anyhow, anybody that's helped me with anything and been a part, or McKnight, he helped me out with some computer settings the other night. Got to thank him. Anyhow, so with that said, thanks everybody, and we're gonna call this a stream, and we'll catch everybody on the flip side. And remember, always, always keep the rubber side down.